We are living in what is considered the peak of technology, an era where humans can connect with one another instantly, even from opposite sides of the Earth. An era where we have created artificial intelligence that can learn and think, where probes have been sent beyond our solar system, where we can edit genes, extend human lifespan, and begin to touch the deepest secrets of matter itself. We are proud that we have conquered the sky, set foot on the moon, observed galaxies billions of light years away, and started to understand the very structure of the universe. According to the Kardashev scale, humanity currently stands at around level 0.7 out of 7 possible levels of civilization. And you may be thinking, how fortunate it is to be born in the most modern era, the most advanced age humanity has ever reached. But the real question is that actually true? Is a level 0.7 civilization truly the highest form of civilization that has ever existed during the 4.5 billion years since our home Earth was formed? Or before us, did other civilizations arise on this very planet? Civilizations that once developed, perhaps reached even higher levels, but eventually collapsed, faded away, and had their traces erased by Earth itself. So completely that today we can barely recognize that they may have ever existed at all. Today, Hypothetic World invites you to travel backward through Earth's own timeline to explore a controversial hypothesis, one that challenges our belief that humanity is the first civilization to ever rise on this planet. 1. The most dangerous assumption. Earth has existed for approximately 4.5 billion years. Within that almost unimaginable span of time, human industrial civilization has existed for only about 300 years. If we compressed Earth's entire history into a single year, modern human civilization would occupy only the final few seconds. The proportion of time humans have existed compared to the age of this planet is almost zero. And this is where a dangerous assumption begins. Over those billions of years, is it truly reasonable to believe that intelligence appeared only once? That Earth remained silent for nearly its entire history, only to produce today for the first time a civilization capable of thinking, of building, and of questioning its own origins? Or are we simply the latest attempt? 2. What does science say? According to mainstream science, there's no direct evidence that an advanced technological civilization existed on Earth before humans. There are no fossilized cities, no ancient machines, no clear industrial signatures preserved in the geological record. Based on what we currently know, the conclusion is simple. Humanity is the most advanced civilization ever known to have existed on Earth. But science also acknowledges another truth. Earth is not a good keeper of memory. It is a massive data erasing machine. Tectonic plates constantly shift. Mountains are worn down. Rocks are melted and recycled. And oceans cover more than 70% of the planet's surface. After tens to hundreds of millions of years, most surface evidence disappears almost completely. Because of this, scientists have seriously asked a question known as the Silurian hypothesis. If an industrial civilization existed long before us, would we even be capable of recognizing its traces today? The unsettling answer is perhaps not. 3. The Silurian hypothesis. There's a serious scientific hypothesis, not a conspiracy theory, known as the Silurian hypothesis. This hypothesis does not claim that a civilization existed before humans. It asks only one simple yet dangerous question. If an industrial civilization existed tens or even hundreds of millions of years ago, what would we be able to find today? The unsettling answer is almost nothing. No cities, no machines, no architecture. If anything remained at all, it would exist only as extremely subtle traces, Abnormal isotope ratios, sudden shifts in climate, or unusual chemical signatures preserved in geological layers. And this leads to a cold conclusion. Not finding evidence does not mean something never existed. 4. The 5 mass extinctions in Earth's history. Throughout 4.5 billion years of Earth's history, life did not evolve peacefully. It was interrupted many times, sometimes coming dangerously close to being completely erased. Scientists have identified 5 major mass extinctions periods when a large portion of life on this planet disappeared in a very short time by geological standards. The first occurred around 444 million years ago. Rapid climate change and global glaciation eliminated about 85% of marine life. The second took place during the Devonian period, where life declined through multiple prolonged events. Oceans lost oxygen, ecosystems collapsed, and roughly 75% of species vanished. The most devastating came third around 252 million years ago, the Permian-Triassic extinction. Nearly 96% of marine species and 70% of land species were wiped out. Earth came frighteningly close to losing all complex life. 2 more extinctions followed around 201 million years ago and 66 million years ago, eliminating approximately 80% and 75% of species. The last one erased all non-avian dinosaurs, opening the path for mammals and eventually humans. There is one critical detail. Across all 5 mass extinctions, humans were not present. Humanity appeared only after the final extinction, after Earth had already reset life once again. On average, every 50 to 100 million years, Earth undergoes a planetary-scale biological restructuring. Some of these events happened extremely fast. Some causes remain only partially understood. This does not prove that an advanced civilization existed before us, but it reveals an undeniable truth. Earth is capable of erasing nearly all life again and again. And if it can erase millions of species, is it truly impossible for it to erase the traces of a civilization that never reached Type 1? 5. The humans of the future. Looking at geological data, the 5 major mass extinctions in Earth's history occurred with an average interval of 50 to 100 million years. The most recent extinction happened 66 million years ago. From a purely statistical perspective, Earth today appears to be in the latter half of a long cycle. And that leads to an uncomfortable thought. In terms of probability, the next planetary reset may not be hundreds of millions of years away, but possibly only tens of millions. Of course, this is not a prediction. Earth does not operate on a fixed schedule. But history shows that planet-scale catastrophes are not rare. They are only rare by human standards. So the real question becomes, will humanity even survive long enough to reach that point? Consider the pace of our development. In just a few hundred years, we moved from agricultural societies to industrial civilization, and then into the digital age and artificial intelligence. If this trend continues, then within tens of thousands of years, a blink of an eye in Earth's history, humans may no longer be purely biological beings, emerge with technology, or evolve into a completely different form of civilization. The question is no longer, will humans still be alive? It is, what will still exist when Earth enters its next great restructuring? Humans as we know them today, or descendants that no longer fit the definition of humanity? And if Earth truly has a kind of expiration cycle, then the record of the 5 previous mass extinctions presents a clear challenge. Either a civilization learns how to outlast the cycles of its planet, or it becomes another chapter in the long history of erasure. 6. The most plausible scenario. When we piece together everything we know, one plausible scenario begins to take shape. It is possible that Earth did not produce intelligence only once, but instead nurtured it multiple times, giving rise to civilizations that remained at very low levels around type 0.x. These civilizations may have never gained control over planetary energy, never reached a scale large enough to leave lasting traces, and most importantly, never crossed the threshold of type 1. When climate shifts, massive volcanic activity, asteroid impacts, or other planetary scale shocks occurred, they collapsed just like countless species before them. Over time, Earth did what it has always done best: it erased what remained. If this scenario is true, then humanity is not the first civilization to exist, but the first one to arise early enough to ask this question at all. And that realization makes our position more fragile than we might like to believe. 7. The final question. If all of this is true, if Earth has repeatedly reset life in the past, if intelligence can emerge and then disappear without leaving clear traces behind, then humanity today may no longer occupy the special position we believe it does. We are not the beginning, and very likely we are not the end. Humanity exists within an extremely brief window of time, just after the most recent mass extinction and before the next cycles of planetary restructuring. The question is no longer, did a civilization exist before us? It is this: what makes us believe that this civilization will not share the fate of the ones before it? Because if Earth truly is a test, history suggests it does not reward intelligence alone, but the ability to endure long enough. And perhaps the most unsettling thought is not that we may not be the first civilization, but that we are still facing the very same test right now or tomorrow, next week, next year, or at any moment we cannot predict.